Hey friends, Sleepy here. Welcome to the episode of the weekly playlist. It's Friday, so it's time to share with you guys the games I have been playing during the past week. Let you guys know my thoughts and opinions on the games. Of course, I want to hear what your guys' thoughts are on these games, if you played them, what you like about them, what you didn't like about them. I'd also like to hear what games you guys have been playing recently. And if you have any suggestions on games you think I should check out, let me know. You guys always suggest really fun titles. And I do have a nice little list going of games for me to keep an eye out to try out. I only have two games that I played this week. One I've been playing a lot, and the other one we're going to start off with for the Nintendo 64. I mentioned this many times, but we're continuing our work on Donkey Kong 64. So my buddy Grant came over this past Monday again, and we had another retro gaming night. And I always like when my buddy Grant comes over and we can play games. You know, it's awesome to be able to play old games with him, and to be able to chill and do couch co-op and stuff like that. And so him and I have been working on Donkey Kong 64 this year. We want to 100% beat this game. We have 130 bananas now of the 200, so we're making really good progress with the game. So now we're over halfway done. We've got to a couple new levels. We've beat 6 bosses so far, so that's awesome. You know, we're getting a lot further in it, and this is one that we really would like to beat. I'm hoping we can beat it by the end of the year. You know, it's just whenever him and I can get together, we both don't have to work, which is usually Mondays, but occasionally he has to go in Mondays. Sometimes I gotta go in Mondays, and we're not able to have our retro gaming night, but I enjoy it every week, and I've been having a lot of fun with Donkey Kong 64. One thing I really like about this game is, you know, that it changed it up from that 2D side-scrolling that Donkey Kong Country was into the 3D adventure that is Donkey Kong 64, and we haven't got any other Donkey Kong 3D adventure games after this one, which is a real shame. Like, I would really love to see a new one on the Nintendo Switch, or maybe like a remake of this where they could fix some of the issues that are plagued the game. Like, some of the stuff can be tedious, you know, some of the collecting, some of the races, you know, they don't seem to give you enough time. And then the biggest complaint I have with this is just the camera angles, but that's kind of a trend, especially with these early 3D games on the Nintendo 64. You know, they were still working out the bugs and stuff and kinks in developing games, and that's what it just seems to be the problem is with the camera sometimes. Now, it's not unplayable, of course, you know, you can easily play the game, but there are some points that can just get quite annoying. I get irritated sometimes when we get the camera like fixed and then your character is jumping around, like you have the camera facing down and you have an item up in the air and you can't tell the depth perception. Like, your depth is way off. You don't know how close you are you under it, below it, to the side of it. Like, you swear you touched it but you don't, which can be annoying. There's also sometimes where you have to fly as Diddy Kong in levels, and you have to fly through little rings, and you swear you went through but you missed it, and you back up, and by the time you correct yourself and fix it, you know you failed the race and you have to start it over and over again. But overall, other than that gripe about the camera though, which is only, you know, occasionally at certain times, you know, it's still a really enjoyable experience. Definitely recommend you guys check it out if you've never played it. It also introduced new Kongs, so you have your Donkey Kong and Diddy Kong, but you also have Chunky Kong, you have Lanky Kong, and you have Tiny Kong. So you have 5 different Kongs to play as. They all have their own powers, they all have their own unique characteristics in the way they control, and they all do something a little bit different, and they're all really fun to play as. Another thing I haven't really mentioned, I don't believe that I'm playing this, is this does also have multiplayer, which you can play 4-player and you guys pick a Kong and you all can run around and battle each other in different little mini games and stuff, which is also really cool. Some other things that I really like about this is that they actually have the old Donkey Kong arcade game. In one of the levels is Donkey Kong, you pull a switch on this arcade game and then you have to actually play as Mario going through, or Jumpman as he's called in the game, through and to get to Donkey Kong and get a certain score in order to unlock one of the bananas, which I thought was really sweet. There was also another little space mini game that you could play with Cranky Kong that was really fun once I got to learn how to play that. You know, I got pretty far in that and unlocked that banana, which was awesome. And overall, you know, we're having a blast with this game, and it's just something I would like to 100% before the end of the year. So definitely recommend you guys check out Donkey Kong 64. Such a fantastic title. And the other title that I've been playing, which has been taking up the most of my time, is Gears of War 5. Absolutely loving this game. So glad that I bought this on launch day. You know, I had the Ultimate Edition, so I got this on Thursday at 9 p.m. After installing everything, I got to play in a couple hours. stars, but it's a fantastic game. Really enjoying the story so far. I'm on the second act now, towards the beginning of that. Stopped playing the campaign for a little bit to jump into Horde mode, which I've always loved Horde ever since Gears of War 2, and I really like the Horde mode here in Gears of War 5. And one of the neat things about Gears 5 now is you can actually have bots in Horde mode with you, so if you don't have anyone to play with, you can just play with 4 computer cogs, and they're really helpful. And that's what I've been playing. I played a couple different matches of Horde, just solo with the computer. Didn't want to play with anybody because I want to have to commit any time, because I don't always have a whole lot of time to play. You could need like 2-3 hours sometimes for to do all 50 waves on Horde, and I don't always have that time. I have to be able to stop. I got other things to do. And so when you play with yourself with the bots, you can stop anytime. You're not ruining anyone else's game. You're not committed to anything. And so that was something I really enjoyed, being able to play solo. And it's also good just to get practice, because I had not played Gears for quite a while, so I was a little rusty, especially with Horde mode, and so I've been having a lot of fun with that. There is the escape mode, where you use a 3-person co-op going in through hives and destroying them, and then trying to escape with very limited ammo and resources. So that's something I would like to try. That mode looks really fun. There's also a map building mode with that. And then, of course, there's your classic versus, which I'm not really big into competitive, but, I want to dive into it a little bit, play a little bit of the competitive Gears, because I have not played that in a while. But mainly, I've been playing the campaign and the Horde mode, which I really like. I'm currently been playing as Marcus, and he's a tank character. And the really cool thing is that all the different characters you have, you can actually level them up, and they all have different specialties. You have a special power you can activate, like Marcus's, where he make headshots easier for him and his team. And then you also can customize your characters, because if you unlock different skins, like I just got the Batista Marcus skin this week for playing, so now I've been playing as him, and he voiced everything, which I think is really cool. But you can change your skin, customize him. You can also change your weapon loadout, and you can also change the skins you use on your weapons, that kind of thing. Just like all the previous Gears games, but really fun. Definitely recommend you guys give Gears of War 5 a try, especially if you're a fan of the Gears of War series. And I know some people have been having issues with Gears of War 5 with it lagging and glitching, which I also had that problem where some of my collectibles disappeared. But after, I think it was like 3 patches or something, it seems like they've kind of stabilized the game. And at least for me now, it's working a lot better than it was, because when I first got this on launch day, man, there was some game-breaking bugs. Like, it just wouldn't load the campaign, and I had to shut off the console after like 5 restarts of the game, and then finally got it to play. And then when I went in and all my stats were gone, it was at 0, and that was really irritating. I turned off the console again, and then when it was back on, then everything was back there. And then after these last couple of updates, the game seems to be running a lot smoother. And I do have to mention, this game does look amazing. Now, I just have my regular Xbox One. I have an Xbox One S as well in the bedroom, but I don't own a 4K TV. I just have a regular 1080p TV, and it looks amazing on that. So I can imagine how awesome this game has to look in 4K with the HDR. And I know other people have said it looked awesome, but it definitely has really, really good graphics. And I'm actually enjoying the story. I know some people are upset that like Kate becomes the main character in Gears of War 5, and it's not Marcus or JD Phoenix or anything, but for me, I thought it was a nice change of pace, and a nice, it's because it's going into the history of the Locusts and everything, which I think is awesome. I haven't beat the game, and I'm trying to avoid all like gameplay videos of the campaign. I don't really want to spoil the story for myself. I want to enjoy it for myself. I just do know that people have said, though, that it leaves the opening for a Gears of War 6, which I do hope they eventually do make a Gears of War 6, because that would be a really fun way to end this second trilogy of titles. And then if they ever do want to make more Gears of War games, I would love to see a Gears of War set during the Pendulum Wars, or from the end of the Pendulum War, from E-Day until Gears of War 1, because there was like 15 years in between there where they really didn't explore, all that content. I mean, they have done in books and graphic novels and stuff, but it would be really cool if they had like a prequel series to play through early Marcus or something, or even before that, like during the Pendulum Wars, where you're just fighting without the Locust Law, but just fighting the UIR and the other governments. That would be a really fun series to have, like a prequel Gears of War series. Another thing that would be really cool is like if they had a Gears of War RTS. That's another concept they could try, like Halo did with Halo Wars, which I really enjoyed. Those were fun, because I like RTS games. But you know, that's something they could do with the Gears series. But I definitely recommend, if you guys are a fan of Gears of War, try out Gears of War 5. Very fun title. And you can also get it if you have that Ultimate Game Pass. You know, it's free on there, so you can play it on the Ultimate Game Pass. Definitely a really fun game. And I'm definitely going to be looking forward to getting with some friends here. If you're on Xbox One and you want to play Gears of War, the Horde mode, or campaign or something with me, let me know. I always have my gamer tags in the description. You guys can send me a friend request, just let me know who you are, I'll add you, and maybe we can play some games together. So we'll do a quick recap. Yeah, I talked about Donkey Kong 64, fantastic Donkey Kong 3D adventure game. I really wish we got more of these. Now the camera can be a little wonky at times, but overall though, it's a really solid game. It's really fun, and I definitely think you guys should check it out. If you got a 64, pick up a copy. Very good title. And also we talked about Gears of War 5, which I'm having a blast with. Love the campaign mode. Having a blast with Horde. I still got to try out the escape mode, and I still have to play a couple matches in Versus. But overall, fantastic game. So let me know, guys, if you played Donkey Kong 64, are you currently playing Gears of War 5? How are you liking Gears 5? Have you run into any bugs or anything? And how are you enjoying your time with it so far? Alright, guys, I want to thank you for watching. Take care. Have an amazing day, and Sleepy will see you guys next time.